This was the program we created in last lesson with class instructor and admin staff as child of class employee. We saw that when we create instructor class object, we get IntelliSense help against the init method of the parent class, which is employee. So even with blank instructor class, we can use methods of the parent class. But recall that we need following attributes of instructor, where other than fname, lname, email and pay, we need to have designation and list of courses. So the employee class init method cannot directly be used for the instructor class. But inside instructor class, we can create its own init method. So when we will create instructor object, the interpreter will first look for the init method inside the instructor class. And if it finds it there, it will use that init method. And in case init method is not there, then it will move to the parent class and use the init method of the parent class. So let's first explore this idea and create a test method in it without any input argument except the self inside the instructor class to elaborate this concept. Notice that as we added this init method, IDE gives error on line number 21, which states that too many positional arguments, because now the init method inside instructor class takes no input argument. You can see that now init method of instructor class is called. There is an important term known as method resolution order. It specifies the order of classes in which a method is searched by the interpreter when that method is applied on any instance. Let's apply help function on instructor class or any object of that class. On the printed help, you will see method resolution order. The first class is the instructor class. So when any method is called on an instructor object, Python will look for that in instructor class. If not found, it will move to the next class in this order, which is the parent class employee. And if not found there, it will move to the built-in class object. And if not found there too, it will of course generate an error. There is other detail of the class instructor as well. For example, the methods defined in it, and we have just init method. Then the methods it inherits from the employee class, and if I expand it, you can see two methods repr and raisePay, which are inherited from the parent class. Then are descriptors inherited from the employee class, and followed by that are data attributes inherited from the employee class, which are raiseAmount and totalEmployee. Another way to see just the method resolution order is through the attribute dunderMRO of that class. And again you will see the same order. Now let's update the init method as we need for the instructor class. So other than fname, lname and pay, we will have designation as input argument. The courses attribute will be set to empty list inside the method. For the common attributes with the parent class, we need to implement the same logic as in the parent class. Copying that from the parent class will be a bad idea. Instead, we should call the init method of the employee class inside the init method of the instructor class and pass in just the arguments needed by the init method of the employee class. So it will call the init method of the employee class and will set the attributes as done there. The remaining attributes we will set in this init method of the instructor class. Note that I am not applying any checks in the form of getters and setters methods, neither I am creating the enumeration class for the designations, just to keep the thing simple and focus on the class inheritance concept. To call a method of parent class, we can call it by the parent class name as we are doing on line number 16. But there is also another way, and that is by using the super function. Super function refers to the parent class. And then we can specify the method name. In this case, we don't need to pass in the self as first input argument, as super works on instance methods by default, and self is passed as first input argument automatically. Super can also work on class methods by passing in CLS as input argument. And now you can see IntelliSense help corresponding to instructor class. Just as a side note, with its own init method, the instructor class objects are still the objects of employee class as well. Now let's add the assign course method, which we need just for the instructor class. We will simply add the provided subjects in the courses list. Now let's update the admin staff class, where we need to have team as attribute and task will be the set of empty list. So again we need separate init method for this. Let's add assign task method, which is quite similar to assign courses of instructor class. We are creating an admin staff and the team is exam team. Suppose tasks are specified as different task codes. Let's see another good feature of inheritance. We know that we have raisepay method in parent class which uses raise amount set to 1.1 to increment the pay by 10%. This method can be applied on both instructor and admin staff objects. But suppose if we want to set the raise amount for the admin staff to 15% instead of 10%, all we need is to define the variable raise amount in admin staff class and set it to 1.15. So when we will apply raise pay to the admin staff object, it will use the raise pay of the parent class, but the raise amount variable will be obtained from the admin class. So you can see that this method has raised the pay by 15%. And if we apply it on the instructor class, it will raise the pay by 10%. One last thing that can be useful is the function known as hasAttribute, which can be used to check if an object has an attribute defined for it. We can pass in the object and the name of the attribute, for example raisepay, which is not inside instructor class but is inside the parent class, and this will return true. Let's check assign course on instructor and admin staff object. And you will see false for admin staff and true for the instructor class. That's all from this lesson. Thanks for watching.